Growing up in Madeira. Long before Cristiano Ronaldo became a global icon, he was simply a boy from a small island in the Atlantic Ocean. He was born on February 5, 1985, in Funchal, the capital of Madeira, Portugal. While the island was known for its beautiful landscapes and coastal views, life there wasn't always easy. For many families, finding stable work was a daily challenge, and Ronaldo's family was no exception. Cristiano grew up in a modest home with his parents and three older siblings. Space was limited, money was tight, and luxury was something they could only imagine. His father, José Diniz Severo, worked as a municipal gardener and also served as the kit man for a local football club called Andorinha. His mother, Maria Dolores dos Santos Severo, worked as a cook and cleaned houses to help support the family. They worked long hours just to provide the basics. Even though they struggled financially, Ronaldo's parents did everything they could to give their children opportunities. From an early age, it was obvious that Cristiano had endless energy. He rarely stayed indoors and spent nearly every free moment with a football at his feet. If he wasn't playing in the streets, he was kicking a ball in open fields or challenging older kids to matches. Football wasn't just a hobby. It quickly became the center of his life. His father often brought him to Andorinha, where he worked. Watching the older players train only made Cristiano want to play even more. Before long, he joined the club himself. Despite being one of the youngest players, he stood out almost immediately. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the strongest. But he hated losing. If his team was behind, he refused to give up. If he missed a chance to score, he would stay frustrated long after the game ended. Even as a child, winning meant everything to him. That competitive fire would become one of the defining traits of his entire career. As Ronaldo grew older, his talent became impossible to ignore. He moved from Andorinha to Nacional, one of Madeira's biggest football clubs. There, he faced stronger competition and more experienced players, yet he continued to impress coaches with his speed, technical ability, and determination. Still, life away from football wasn't always easy. His family continued to face financial hardship, and there were no guarantees that football would ever become more than a childhood dream. For every young player who dreamed of becoming a professional, thousands never made it. Cristiano knew the odds. But instead of discouraging him, they pushed him to work even harder. His coaches often noticed that while practice officially ended for everyone else, Ronaldo would keep going. He wanted to improve every part of his game. His speed, his dribbling, his shooting, and his fitness. Even at a young age, he believed there was always room to get better. That mindset separated him from many of the talented players around him. By the time he was 10 years old, people across Madeira were already talking about the gifted young boy who seemed destined for something bigger. Scouts from Portugal's mainland began paying attention. The biggest opportunity of his life was approaching. But accepting it would require a sacrifice that most children could hardly imagine. At just 12 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo would have to leave everything he had ever known, his home, his friends, and his family, to chase a dream hundreds of miles away. It was a decision that would change his life forever. Leaving home and chasing the dream. At just 12 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo faced the biggest decision of his life. After impressing scouts with his performances in Madeira, he earned a place at Sporting CP's famous academy in Lisbon. It was an opportunity every young footballer dreamed of. But accepting it meant leaving his family and moving nearly 600 miles away from home. For a 12-year-old boy, it was a heartbreaking decision. Still, Ronaldo believed this was his chance to change his future. With the support of his parents, he boarded a plane to Lisbon, leaving behind everything he had ever known. The transition wasn't easy. He missed his family every day and struggled to adjust to life in a new city. To make things worse, some of the other boys at the academy made fun of his Madeiran accent, making him feel like an outsider. Many young players would have quit. Ronaldo didn't. Instead, he used the criticism as motivation. He trained harder than everyone else, often staying after practice to improve his shooting, dribbling, and speed. His coaches quickly noticed that his greatest strength wasn't just his talent, it was his work ethic. Then, another challenge threatened to end his dream. During a medical examination, doctors discovered that Ronaldo had a heart condition known as tachycardia, which caused his heart to beat faster than normal. For any young athlete, the diagnosis was frightening. He underwent a procedure to correct the problem, and thankfully, it was successful. Within a short time, Ronaldo was back on the training ground, determined not to lose a single step in his development. His dedication paid off. He rose through Sporting CP's youth teams at an incredible pace, becoming the first player in the club's history to play for the under-16, under-17, under-18, reserve team, and first team all in the same season. It was clear that he was ready for something bigger. That opportunity came in 2003, when Sporting faced Manchester United in a pre-season friendly. Ronaldo delivered an unforgettable performance, dazzling United's defenders with his speed, skill, and confidence. By the end of the match, Manchester United's players were urging manager Sir Alex Ferguson to sign the young winger. Ferguson had seen enough. Just days later, Manchester United reached an agreement with Sporting. At only 18 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo was on his way to England. He was about to join one of the biggest clubs in the world. And under one of football's greatest managers, his life was about to change forever. Becoming a superstar. In the summer of 2003, Cristiano Ronaldo officially signed for Manchester United. The transfer fee was around £12.24 million, making him the most expensive teenager in English football at the time. It was a huge investment for an 18-year-old who had never played outside Portugal. The pressure was immediate. Ronaldo was handed the club's legendary number 7 shirt, a number previously worn by Manchester United icons like George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. He was nervous. Even Ronaldo felt he wasn't ready to carry such a famous number. But Sir Alex Ferguson believed he was. At first, life in the Premier League wasn't easy. Ronaldo's incredible dribbling and flashy skills excited fans, but critics argued that he spent too much time showing off and not enough time scoring goals. Instead of letting the criticism discourage him, he used it as motivation. He worked tirelessly to improve every aspect of his game. He became stronger in the gym. He improved his finishing. He became faster, more explosive, and more dangerous in front of goal. Season after season, the results became impossible to ignore. Ronaldo wasn't just entertaining anymore. He was becoming one of the best players in the world. Under Sir Alex Ferguson, Manchester United dominated English football, winning multiple Premier League titles. Then came the 2007-08 season, the year that changed everything. Ronaldo scored an incredible 42 goals in all competitions, helping Manchester United win both the Premier League and the UEFA Champions League. For his remarkable performances, he won his first Ballon d'Or, officially being recognized as the best football player in the world. But Europe wasn't enough. There was one club that had dreamed of signing him for years. A club known for chasing the biggest stars in football. Real Madrid. In 2009, they were finally ready to make their move. And the transfer that followed would change football history forever. Building a legacy. In 2009, Cristiano Ronaldo made the biggest move of his career. Real Madrid signed him for a world record transfer fee of around €94 million. The expectations were enormous. He wasn't just joining a football club. He was joining one of the most famous teams in the world, a club built around legends. Many wondered if Ronaldo could handle the pressure. He answered that question almost immediately. From his first season, he showed that he was not just a talented player, he was a machine built for success. He scored goals at an incredible rate, broke records, and constantly pushed himself to improve. But Ronaldo wasn't satisfied with being great. He wanted to become the best. Every training session became a chance to improve. Every match became an opportunity to prove himself. His rivalry with Lionel Messi pushed him even further, creating one of the greatest individual battles in sports history. During his 9 years at Real Madrid, Ronaldo reached another level. He became the club's all-time leading scorer, scoring 450 goals in 438 appearances. He won 4 Champions League titles with the club and became one of the most decorated players in football history. In 2017, he won his 5th Ballon d'Or, putting him among the greatest players the world had ever seen. But his success wasn't only happening on the field. Ronaldo understood that his name was becoming a global brand. He built the CR7 brand, expanding into clothing, fragrances, hotels, and fitness businesses. His image became just as valuable as his football ability. Companies around the world wanted to work with him because millions of fans followed everything he did. By the time he left Real Madrid in 2018, Ronaldo was no longer just a football player. He was a worldwide business empire. But after achieving almost everything possible in Spain, Ronaldo wanted a new challenge. At 33 years old, many athletes begin slowing down. Ronaldo did the opposite. He moved to Italy to join Juventus, proving that even after reaching the top, he was still hungry for more. The next stage of his journey would test whether he could continue dominating football outside of Spain. And it would also reveal something important about Ronaldo. His ambition was never just about winning. It was about proving that he could keep winning, no matter where he went. From football legend to global empire. After 9 unforgettable years at Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo was ready for another challenge. In 2018, he joined Juventus in Italy for around €100 million. Many questioned whether Ronaldo could continue performing at the highest level. After all, he was already in his 30s, an age when many footballers begin to decline. But Ronaldo proved his critics wrong. In Italy, he continued scoring goals, winning trophies, and showing the same discipline that had defined his entire career. He became Juventus' top scorer and helped the club win Serie A. But Ronaldo's ambitions went beyond football. Over the years, he had built something much bigger than a career. He had built a brand. The name CR7 became recognized around the world. Through partnerships, businesses, and investments, Ronaldo transformed his fame into multiple sources of income. He launched his own clothing line, fragrances, and fitness products. He invested in hotels through the Pastana CR7 brand, creating luxury properties in major cities. His massive social media following also became one of his greatest business advantages, allowing him to connect with hundreds of millions of fans worldwide. By becoming one of the most followed people on the planet, Ronaldo turned his personal image into one of the most valuable brands in sports. In 2021, Ronaldo made another surprising move. He returned to Manchester United. Fans around the world celebrated the return of one of the club's greatest legends. However, the second chapter didn't go as planned. The team struggled, and disagreements with the club eventually led to Ronaldo leaving Manchester United in 2022. Many believed his career at the highest level was coming to an end. But Ronaldo wasn't finished. In 2023, he joined Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia in a deal that became one of the biggest contracts in sports history. The move showed something that had always defined him. Ronaldo was constantly looking for new challenges and new opportunities. At this stage of his career, he had already achieved almost everything a footballer could dream of. But he continued playing, competing, and building his legacy. Today, Cristiano Ronaldo is more than just a football player. He is a global brand, a businessman, and an example of how discipline can transform talent into greatness. His story was never only about natural ability. Millions of people have talent. But few are willing to make the sacrifices Ronaldo made. Leaving home at 12 years old. Training when others stopped. Turning criticism into motivation. Demanding more from himself every single day. That mindset took a young boy from a small island in Portugal and turned him into one of the most famous and successful athletes in history. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't become rich only because he was talented. He became rich because he built himself into someone who was impossible to ignore. And that is the true story of how Cristiano Ronaldo built his fortune.